Hello everyone and welcome to the Carcode YouTube channel. Today I'm at the Everything Electric show in London. Thank you to them for having me. And I'm going to be checking out the all-new Hyundai Inster. This has been a highly requested video. A lot of people have wanted to see me get my hands on one of these, so it's great to have a first look around it at the show. I won't be able to drive it, so today it's just going to be a walk around tour of the vehicle. I will tell you the specs, the battery specs, and showing you the interior and the clever seats, etc. inside, because it's quite small on the outside, but inside it's one of them sort of TARDIS vehicles. So if that sounds good, keep watching for a full overview of the new Inster. To the front, the Insta's got these quite cute bug eyes. They look a bit strange, and then you've got the classic pixel ionic lights. These are your main beams down here, and then your charge flap is here. Not a big fan of that placement at the front of the vehicle. I prefer it to the rear or the side of the car, but it's not a big issue, especially as it's such a small car. You've got this gloss black panel all here where your radars are, and that's very similar to what we even see on the bigger Ioniq 9, which I'll also cover today. The Inster is available with two different battery and motor combinations. You've got the higher output 49 kilowatt hour battery with 115 PS, or you've got the 42 kilowatt hour battery with 97 PS. They're all front wheel drive, so perfect for city. That's plenty enough speed there. The standard range gives you 203 miles WLTP range, and then the long range 229 miles. So it's not quite around the 240 of the Renault 5, but it's perfect for city driving. And think how far that's come in a few years from mini electrics and Honda E's. It's like double what some of the earlier vehicles are. So that should be plenty enough for a lot of people to get around towns and cities, and that's where it'll do the best efficiency as well. Of course, it's relatively lightweight as well due to it having a smaller battery, and it's quite a small car as well. Outside, the Inster is available in a range of vibrant colours. They've really gone for funky, which they needed to do because lots of manufacturers of these small EVs are getting really quite fun colours. As standard, it comes in the ivory solid paintwork, which looks quite nice and it just suits the cute look of the vehicle. This is the solid Atlas white, which is a £300 optional extra, and it does look really good. If you'd like the contrasting black roof, that's an extra £500 option on the vehicle. It adds a bit of extra to the car, but it's definitely not necessary. One of my favourites is the sienna orange, just for something that really does pop. It's quite unique. You can also get the lemon buttercream pearl, which is a bit different. I think I'd definitely have to see that in person to make my mind up. You've also, of course, got the abyss black, which has a sleek look all blending in with the lights and everything like that. You've got the khaki colour. You can have the khaki in a solid or in a matte. You've got the silver matte, which is nice, £800 option, so a bit more expensive, but it does look nice. So there's plenty of colour options there on the Inster. I think the ivory, the solid ivory, would look quite nice. It reminds me of the VW Beetle ivory that you could get, and also the one that you could get on the Nissan Micra. So that's quite nice, but in white it does look sleek. I think the darker colour looks better though. It does look better in black, I think, than white, but the ivory as standard's great, or orange, why not? Why not have something a bit different with the sienna orange? So plenty of options there to have that funky look. You've also got these roof rails. This is the 2 model, by the way. There's a base model, and the 2 model's got more equipment and lots more style. To the rear of the Inster, you can see these cute round light design continues with indicators, which are quite low down. I believe they are there, and then the pixel light bar up there. So it's got a dynamic look. It just looks quite different. Inster is spelled out across the back as well for a nice sleek look. Let's take a look at the boot space and practicality on the Inster now. Boot space and practicality, the Inster does really well with 238 to 351 litres. That's because the seats actually slide forward and backwards to give you more boot space or more leg space in the back. That's really flexible and not something we normally see on a small car. Normally you'd only see that on larger SUVs, so really, really impressive on this vehicle. You can also recline the back seats, so that's a very unique feature in a car this small. So very versatile, and you can also fold the seats flat, so lots that you can do there. You've got even more space down here as well, so it's a very practical small vehicle. It's one of them ones, outside it looks small, inside there's actually quite a lot of space, which is nice. You've got a handle on each side in here as well to shut it quite easily. You can see on there that picture of how flexible the Inster can be. So these sections kind of slide, these bits here, slide so it slides back. So they look a bit cheap and they kind of flap about, but that's just to keep everything flat. And then the front seat can actually go down. This is the lighter interior as well that I quite like. It's a bit different, definitely lifts the cabin a bit more. it'll be nice to see that when it's actually on the road as well. So as you can see, it's quite a clever storage solution, especially for an EV. Lots of the time they can be quite cramped, especially a small one, so this is a really great solution to see. So as I say, these sections kind of slide with the vehicle forward and back, so they're a bit kind of floppy. And then under here you've got additional storage, which is really great. It's actually quite surprising, so very flexible. You can also lower that down as well, so you have a deeper one, or have it here so you've got the flat load bay. So backseat practicality in the Inster. The seats slid forwards. You can see I don't have a lot of knee room, but I've got quite a bit of headroom thanks to the boxy shape. Then you can, of course, slide the seats back like so. I mean, how clever is that? That gives you loads of leg room then. And you can also adjust the recline of the seats like so. So you can be really reclined back, which is so uncommon for a car this size. So I'm very impressed with that. You definitely have a more spacious feel than you do in the Renault 5. So that's quite a nice USP of this, because I don't think it'll win on quirkiness alone, because the Renault 5 has definitely got a lot of fans and I love it as well. But in terms of actual practicality and space, this is pretty much unbeatable. You've only got 2 seats in the back though, so that is one letdown on the vehicle. However, for a town city commuter vehicle, this could actually make a lot of sense. It could be quite perfect. You've also got these little hooks you can add and clip on things onto the vehicle, like cup holders. So that is also a quite handy thing to have. So yeah, very clever, and back seat space is good for a car so small like this. To the side of the vehicle, you've got a normal door handle on the front, and then the concealed door handles at the back, which are kind of hidden, which I quite like that trend that we're seeing a lot now. It's definitely got more than a hint of Suzuki Ignis to it, just the boxy shape and that rear element as well. This is quite a big section, so that could be a bit of a blind spot. It's more of an SUV styled small car rather than a hatchback like what we see on the Renault 5. So more so similar to like a Citroen EC3. Of course, it is a more expensive vehicle, but definitely does feel more premium than that car overall. And inside the Inster now, it's been a very popular car today at the show. So you've got this kind of stack of all these climate controls, which is really useful. So you've got all the buttons that you need to access. You don't have to go through the screen, so that's a great benefit of the vehicle. You've also got your USBs, everything you need, so it's entirely practical. That's really great. Also this cup holder here and the cabin style armrest, which you can move out the way, so that's really great. I think this could look a bit dated quite soon, all these buttons and stuff, but I do think it is better than having it all through the screen and maybe looking a bit neater. Actually, the functionality is very good with this, so everything can be controlled quite easy, even if it does look a bit like a piece of hospital equipment on the vehicle. I think this will definitely be helped though in the lighter cabin rather than this drab cabin, which is not the most exciting, as you can see, just with the black and grey seats. So that was my first look at the Hyundai Inster at the Everything Electric Show 2025. I do hope you enjoyed this quick overview on this quite exciting small vehicle from Hyundai. I do plan to do a full review on the vehicle once it hits UK roads, so if you do want to keep your eye out for that, make sure to subscribe down below so you can be notified when that video drops, because I think it will be quite a competitive car. There's a lot of exciting small EVs coming out now, and this is no different. It's quite an interesting vehicle. I think it's definitely dependent on spec, how much you like it. This is the tyre spec 2, which is definitely a nice looking vehicle, but I'd like a more interesting interior and colour combination and see it out in the daylight, and my thoughts might change, especially when I get to drive one, which hopefully will be very soon.